Michigan State with the 6-point advantage over Wright State. The Raiders led by 9 early on, but Michigan State's 12-0 spurt to end the half as the Spartans on top by 6 here at the break. Looking at the first half numbers here tonight, neither team shooting the ball exceptionally well. Wright State and Michigan State both identical at 42%. Michigan State's 13 of 31, Wright State's 10 of 24. Rebounding-wise, that was a number Mark and I talked about big time in the first half, and right now Michigan State holds a slight edge there at 19 to 15, but I think for the most part, Wright State able to hold their own one area. Michigan State, rebounding-wise, it's worth noting they had 10 offensive rebounds in the first half, 10 of their 19 total boards on the offensive end of the floor. Wright State turned it over 8 times, Michigan State just 5. The Spartans, as a team, average 16 per game, and Wright State averages 17 an outing. Right now, it's a 6-point Michigan State advantage, and in just a few moments, we'll send things over to Mark Best, who will have a chance to get the thoughts of Wright State head coach Ed Schilling about the second 20 minutes of play, with Wright State trailing by the count of 32 to 26. You can get a look at the crowd on hand here tonight. A very festive evening here. One of the larger crowds, certainly the largest crowd of the season here at the Nutter Center tonight. Certainly a lot of folks curious as to what a Final Four caliber team looks like in the Michigan State Spartans, and they have not disappointed in the first half of this one. It's been a pretty good game, I think, for the first 20 minutes, and Wright State looking to keep things that way in the second 20 of action here. Wright State led in the first half. Kevin Melson had 9 points and 5 rebounds to pace the Raiders. Michigan State's A.J. Granger, 13 points for the 6'9" senior, and the majority of those coming from outside. He had, in the first half, Granger hit 3 3-point shots, also had 3 rebounds in the first half here tonight. Michigan State's high rebounder, Charlie Bell, with 4, and Aloysius Anaganye also had 4 boards in the first half. Wright State's Kevin Melson with 5 rebounds, leading Wright State in the first half in that category, and overall Michigan State with the advantage rebounding-wise at 19 to 15. Both teams open up conference play next week, although Wright State will have one more non-league game. That will be with Tennessee State on Monday night, January the 3rd. Michigan State opens up Big Ten play against the Penn State Nittany Lions. That's slated for a week from tonight in State College, Pennsylvania. Michigan State, the preseason favorite in the Big Ten race, and they expect to have Mateen Cleaves back for that opener in the Big Ten. Cleaves is in uniform tonight, but has not played a moment for this game. He has missed the first portion of the season, nursing that stress fracture which occurred in the preseason. Both teams out on the floor getting ready for the second half, and again, we hope to catch a word or two with Ed Schilling prior to the start of the second 20 minutes of play, which again shows Michigan State with the advantage of 6. And certainly the first 5 minutes, I think, of the second half will be very key for Wright State to try and stem the momentum that Michigan State has built up here the final 4 minutes of the second half and into the moments of the second half here as we get ready for the start of second half action. Again, it is Michigan State with the advantage at 32 to 26. The teams back out onto the floor. Foul trouble-wise, Bruno Peterson's with 3 for Wright State, while the only Michigan State player in trouble foul-wise, Morris Peterson with 2. Israel Shainfeld has a couple for Wright State. And right now, Ed Schilling just now coming back out onto the floor, so Raider Brain Trust spending a few extra moments in the locker room trying to devise their game plan for the second half. And we get ready for the second 20 minutes of action. And Mark, I know Coach Schilling, as we mentioned, just now coming back out onto the floor with the rest of his coaching staff. And you and I had talked during our commercial break about how big the first 5 minutes of the second half will be. And I'm almost willing to bet you that's what Ed Schilling would talk to his team about in the locker room at the break.
Well, no doubt about it. You know, the last probably 4 or 5 minutes of the first half, Michigan State really seemed to come untracked offensively. Morris Peterson's hit a couple of jump shots from the baseline. He's a guy that is very, very explosive. early in the first half, there was a little bickering amongst the Spartan players, and they saw that little glimmer at the end of the first half where they really got very, very productive on the offensive end. Is probably the best way to say it, and I'm sure Ed Schilling is thinking, boy, we can't allow that to continue for these first 5 minutes. We've got to get back to where we were playing good, strong Raider basketball these first 5 minutes of the second half and reestablish ourselves, because right now, I guarantee you Michigan State's coming back on the floor thinking, we got these guys on their heels now, we got to knock them out, and they're going to come hard, they're going to come strong, so the Raiders have to answer that bell as well.
So often you see teams of Michigan State's caliber come with that attitude of, all right, that's enough of this, let's end this thing and move on, and you wonder if maybe they brought some of that with them in the final 4 minutes of the first half.
Well, and I'm sure that's what Tom Izzo told them at halftime. He probably said, guys, look, this is college basketball. I don't care who you're playing. You go into somebody's gym, this is a game of the century for them. You cannot give them any opportunities, and Kevin Melson with a pretty good opportunity right there, unable to get the jump shot to fall.
Charlie Bell sends across court. Morris Peterson. His shooting woes continue. Peterson 2 of 7 now.
And really good, pretty good shots, pretty good looks at the basket, just can't get them to fall.
I think Wright State, for the most part, got good looks in the first half as well, too, but the shots just weren't falling at times.
Well, they got some big second chance opportunities. Kevin Melson doing a nice job of getting to the glass.
Bruno Peterson's able to recover that deflected shot and will reset things. Shot clock down to 10.
Well, that's what you've got to do. You've got to make opportunities for yourself. And Bruno that time getting the loose ball. And, we tell you, there was another opportunity there. Thwarted by Michigan State's great defense.
Charlie Bell, nice head and shoulders fake. Contact, but no whistle. Tom Izzo pleading for a foul. And it will simply be a ball knocked out of bounds and will belong to Michigan State. Same fives that started the game. Morris Peterson, Charlie Bell, Andre Hudson, A.J. Granger. And for Michigan State,
Tom Izzo at the top of our screen, not real happy with Mike Santerre. He was giving him an earful. And
Granger penetrates, and we'll go to the line. We have a blocking foul called. Mike Chappelle also in the Michigan State lineup to start the second half.
Is on number 40,
Thomas Hope with the foul for Wright State. Hope, Bills, Petersons, Melson, and
see Charlie Bell with the penetration. That's part of A.J. Granger's game. We haven't seen a whole lot of tonight. He's been the man from the perimeter, knocking down the big jump shots, but right there taking it strong to the hole, and the Raiders foul the 6'9" forward, and he goes to the free throw line.
Tyson Freeman, the other Raiders starter on the floor to start the second half. A.J. Granger hits the free throw. Now 14 points for the 6'9" senior from Findlay, Ohio. Second one rolls around and in. 15 now for Granger. And Michigan State's lead at 8. Their largest advantage of the game, 34-26. They have scored the game's last 14 points dating back to the 4-minute mark in the first half.
Well, the Raiders just simply have to answer right here. They've got to come back and establish something from the offensive end of the floor. Marcus Mays still on the bench. Israel Schoenfeld still sitting on the bench. And these five players the Raiders have on the floor right now, they really have to reach deep down inside and see if they can't get something to go here.
Shot clock's at 3. Bills has it out high with 2. With 1. Melson fights for the miss. Ball knocked around, out of bounds, and it will belong to Wright State. I think what you're seeing now, too, the game is starting to get a little more physical inside, and that's Big Ten basketball right there. That's the way Michigan State plays.
Well, no doubt about it. They've gotten the game to where they want it. They want the lead, and they want to come down. They just want to pound you, play good, tough defense. And Thomas Hope, nice move that time by the 6'9" freshman forward.
Fouls on Mike Chappelle, Michigan State, his first, team's first.
Well, that's the offensive threat right there that Thomas Hope has to be. So many times we see him standing outside trying to distribute the basketball, which is his role, but you've only got 5 guys on the floor. You have to be a threat, and that time Thomas Hope hopefully plants the seeds in the Spartans' mind that they at least have to be honest when he's out on the floor with the ball, but this is the first of 2 free throws. Well, it certainly doesn't make the job any easier when you miss the freebies.
Marcus May back in for Wright State as Tyson Freeman sits down. Hope the back end. That snaps the scoreless streak. 34-27 now. Michigan State's lead at 7. Raiders trying to apply some quarter court pressure. Spartans break it easily. Richardson's back in for the Spartans, replacing Chappelle.
Michigan State with an extremely athletic team on the floor right now. And Peterson's really getting frustrated now. That ball was halfway down.
Marcus May, what a great steal by Marcus May. Tried to save it back in. Hustling ahead. We had newspaper reporters diving for their laptop computers here along press row as Marcus May was chasing that loose basketball.
Well, Marcus with a burst of quickness that time, trying to pop the ball up over the head of Jason Richardson to get it in transition, but out of bounds line, just a little too close.
Spartans maintain possession. Here's Peterson. Ball knocked away. Again, players tied to the deck in a help ball situation. The ball belongs to Michigan State. Crowd and Ed Schilling both yelling for a travel that time, although I don't know that Peterson had possession of the basketball.
And I think that's the key right there. He was bobbling the basketball and just kind of pushing it ahead. Possession error in the favor of the Spartans, and they retain it.
Peterson kicks it to Richardson right side, too strong. Ball again on the floor, and again players dive to the deck as Peterson and Peterson go to the floor.
But again, you gotta like the intensity and the guts. Just everybody getting on the floor, playing the game the way it was meant to be played.
Raiders trail by 7. 1 point in the last 8 minutes of actual game time dating back to the first half. Here's Peterson, spins, and is fouled.
Well, that time the double team, Bruno went to set a screen in the corner for Marcus May, and it almost backfired because he took his defender, Andre Hudson. There you see he took him to the corner. Bruno runs away, but Andre Hudson stays there in double teams. Marcus May doing a nice job of splitting the double team and getting the ball to Bruno, and Bruno gets fouled and goes to the free throw line.
Peterson's a 50% free throw shooter. First one wide right. He will get one more. The Michigan State foul on Granger.
Raiders 57% from the stripe so far tonight. Bruno misses the second of 2, but
he'll get another one. Morris Peterson, the lane violation.
Violation. Substitute free throw coming up.
So Bruno Peterson's back to the line. Second one, no good. The actual second one. In reality, he missed all 3. And Michigan State turns it over. Andre Hudson's outlet pass sails over to press row where radio broadcasters Chris Collins and John Ramey watch it sail by. Surprised Ramey didn't shoot it.
He probably would have missed it anyway. Tom Izzo, I'm sure, not very happy with the performance of his team here tonight. I mean, they've played well in spurts, but overall they've turned the basketball over quite a bit, really haven't handled it very well.
Granger tries the wraparound and does, but to Wright State's Joe Bell. Charlie Bell with outstanding speed, able to track down that lead feed and knock it away.
Well, and right there, perfect indication. There is no substitute for speed right there. You know, normally you lead that ball out for Kevin Melson and he's going to get it. Charlie Bell just closed on that like a defensive back.
He just turned it up a notch, to say the least, in tracking down that ball and couldn't find the handle when he got to it. Raiders inbound. It's still a 7-point Michigan State lead. Melson spots up and scores.
Nice screen that time by Bruno Peterson. He set the screen, then tried to move away, disguised it, kind of looked like a moving screen, but Bruno trying to get away and frees up Kevin Melson for the big 3.
A dozen for Melson, but Andre Hudson returns home with a vengeance. High for the slam on the lob.
Well, that's just something. That's just basic basketball. You have to be able to see the man and see the ball, and that time Raiders turning their heads, and Andre Hudson turning about 9,500 heads with that dunk.
Marcus May finds hope. Peterson high in the air to pull down the miss. Michigan State races the other way. Richardson, Hudson, Granger. Thomas Hope, the weak side rebound. Marcus May took a shot to the head, but will control up the floor. He took an elbow to the left side of the head, but looks like he's all right. Despite the rather lengthy stretch with just little points, the Raiders are only down by 6 points at 36-30.
Well, this is a game that will really build the toughness of the Raiders. This is probably the most physical team a lot of these guys here have ever played against. And
Nelson put it up short.
Doing a nice job coming out again, contesting every shot.
Bell to Peterson. No good. Bruno Peterson is the rebound for Michigan State. Morris Peterson tonight is 2 of 9 shooting the basketball.
Well, and if you're Ed Schilling, you know, if somebody tells you 6 minutes into the second half, Morris Peterson is 2 of 9. Do you take it? He takes it in a heartbeat. You know, this is the best he could have hoped for.
And now whistle and a foul. Bruno Peterson will be called for the illegal screen. He was holding Morris Peterson as he tried to work through the screen. Ed Schilling not happy with that call at all.
Well, and that's the same thing I alluded to on the last possession. Bruno's setting the screen, then looking like he's trying to roll, but he's setting a moving screen.
Officials time out at the 14:32 mark. It's very much a basketball game right now. Raiders trail Michigan State by a half dozen on Time Warner Sports.